Hello and welcome to our Siemens webinar regarding SIPROTEC 7SX800. My name is Johannes Blues and it's a great pleasure for me to be here. Together with my colleague Bruno Arias, we will present the latest information about our compact universal protection device. I would like to thank you very much for your participation. To make it easier, this webinar is divided into two sessions. The first session focuses on the protection device and its applications, while we want to show you how our tools can help you in this second session. We hope that through this webinar you will learn more about how to unlock the full potential of SIPROTEC 7SX800.
Thank you, Johannes. I would like to say that it's also a great pleasure to be here. If you already joined in one of our webinars, you already know about the Q&A box and the chat box on the right side in this application. If you have any question that you would like to send to us, please type them into the Q&A box in the upper right side. All the questions submitted will be answered with a few days by email to all those who attended this webinar. If you have general comments, please use the chat box on the lower right side. And please don't use the chat box to send your questions. In case you are in full screen mode and want to see the Q&A box or the chat box, just press escape. And since we receive one question very frequently, yes, we will record this webinar and make the recording and the slides available to all participants.
In our first session, we were talking about how the universal SIPROTEC 5 devices will save you CAPEX and OPEX costs. We gave you an overview of application examples that can be realized using a compact 7SX800 device, starting from feeder protection to the protection of motors and renewables. And we showed you how the function point manager allows full flexibility when it comes to the device functionality. In this second session, we want to show you with practical examples and tools that will simplify your daily work with SIPROTEC devices. So let's look at the summary of our agenda for this second session. In this second session, we will start with a general overview of our tool landscape. Then we will go deeper into the different tools, starting with SIPROTEC tools that helps you with your field tasks. We will then continue with the SIPROTEC 5 Web UI for convenient monitoring and engineering experience. We will then conclude with our SIPROTEC Digital Twin, a digital replica of your physical device that allows you, for instance, pre-tests of your SIPROTEC 5 devices, saving you valuable time on site. So let's start with an introduction to our tools for the various work phases. This slide here provides an overview of our tools and their main focus. First of all, we have our main tool, DIXI 5. It's the most comprehensive tool, covering the whole workflow, starting from design and engineering to the installation and commissioning up to the operation. Besides DIXI 5, we have several simple tools dedicated to specific use cases. First of all, SIPROTEC tools. It is the preferred solution to interact efficiently and intuitively with the whole SIPROTEC 5 portfolio on site, and is mainly designed for panel builders and field technicians. Then we have the SIPROTEC 5 Web UI. This browser-based user interface provides comprehensive support during testing and commissioning. Also, all relevant device information and setting options are displayed graphically on the screen. Our SIPROTEC Digital Twin offers comprehensive test possibilities of your SIPROTEC 5 devices from everywhere, without the need of the real hardware. And finally, Electrification X, our IoT solution that is designed to manage, optimize, and automate your electrification infrastructure. Here we see the dedicated functions offered in the different tools. While DIXI 5 provides complete functionality, the intuitive SIPROTEC 5 Web UI is tailored towards downloading logs and records, visualizing and changing settings, as well as visualizing and testing signals. So in summary, everything that needs to be quickly done when you're on site, directly dealing with the protection device. SIPROTEC Tools, on the other hand, is an easy tool to load the firmware and configuration into the device, without the need to install DIXI 5. It also offers an easy-to-use wiring test, even for devices without a defined configuration. So much for the theory, but how does it look in reality? Therefore, I'd like to hand over to Bruno to show SIPROTEC tools in detail.
As commented by Johannes, let's now see more details about SIPROTEC tools and how this tool can support you in a friendly way in different activities. SIPROTEC tools is a software that can add many benefits to your daily work. This tool can be used independently of DIGSI 5, without the need to previously install DIGSI device drivers or have access to device configuration. With the great advantage of being free of installation, it is a user-friendly tool, intuitive and fast, following the same layout as SIPROTEC 5 Web UI. All this while maintaining the high levels of cybersecurity available in SIPROTEC 5 devices. With SIPROTEC tools, it is possible to reduce the efforts to factory tests, the entry barriers for the field crew, the efforts over device lifetime, among others various benefits. Looking at all possible applications of SIPROTEC tools, we present here an extremely useful example in commissioning: signal testing. Testing protection device signals usually requires the use of a complete test structure covering several devices, test equipment that generate the signals, wiring between the different devices, and a lot of different work that we need to do. But with the use of SIPROTEC tools, all this work is made easier. You just need to connect your computer to the SIPROTEC 7SX800 device, run SIPROTEC tools, and use the signal test option to simulate everything you need, whether binary signals or analog signals. In this example, we initially show the simplest test in which the signals are tested only internally in the SIPROTEC 5 device to validate the configuration that was done. But we show in the final condition represented that the tested signals can be validated even for the signals transmitted via communication protocol, thus validating the data from the protection device to the grid monitoring system or to other devices. This way, you can be much more efficient by reducing the time spent on this kind of tests. Now, let's have a closer look at the SIPROTEC tools. So let's take a look on the SIPROTEC tools. So just to remember, this kind of tool we don't need to install before we start to use. We just need to run the tool. And since we have the SIPROTEC digital twin, here we will show to you the SIPROTEC tools that is available inside of the SIPROTEC digital twin. So, but remember, it's the same tool, just running in your real PC or running inside of the digital twin. So just make a quickly view here on the main menu of the software. So here we can have some informations regarding the software, or if you decide, you can change the language from, for example, from English to any of the other languages that are available here. In our case, I'll keep here in English. And we have another option here. For example, if you start to navigate in one of the options that are available on the software, you can just click here again and return to the home page of the software. So let's start to check all the options that we have here. So the first one, upgrade device functionality. So this option you can use if you need to send or to download a DAF file from your computer to the SIPROTEC 5 device. And the idea behind this is to change the number of function points on the device. For example, from 0 or from 20 to 100. So the procedure is really easy. You just need to click on the option. You need to select the connection type that you would like to use to connect your PC in your device. So it could be USB or Ethernet connection. In our case, I'll keep here the option Ethernet connection. And of course, you need to check on this case, what is the IP address of the device. So in our case, it's already here. I'll just click on the button to connect on the device. So now we just need to wait. The software will check if the device is available. In our case, we are connected now. And now, really simple, we just need to click on the option Proceed. What we can see here, now we can see what is the product code of the device. So here on the first line, we can check the serial number of the device. We can check the number of function points that we have on the device now. What is the time of the license file that is now on the device. So it's all this data comes from the device. And now what we can do here, we just need to click here on this button, select the new license file that was generated on the function point manager. We will be showed here what will be the new number of function points, and you just need to click on the button upgrade device functionality. And the procedure will start, of course, checking all the cybersecurity rules. For example, asking for the password at the end depends of all the cybersecurity settings that you have in your device. But again, it's something really simple to execute here using the SIPROTEC tools. I will return to the home page. Hardware and wiring test. So this is another option that we have on the SIPROTEC tools. And with this, we can check, again, some information from the device. So we can check here the device now is running in process mode, the serial number, the product code of the device, what is the device type, and important now the device is running in process mode. To start this kind of test, we need to change the device to the commissioning mode. So I will just click here, change the device mode. I have a disclaimer asking if I would like to, if I want to go with this option. Yes, please. So okay. Now the device will restart, and after the device restarts, the device will go to commissioning mode, and we can check this here, commissioning mode. Now I can, of course, depending of the device type of the hardware that I have in my device, I will be able to see here all the binary inputs, all the binary outputs, for example. On this case, if you would like to simulate something, you just need to select the option here. And I'm just simulating, for example, now the binary input 1.1 was in off, and now I just energize the binary input. So it's really simple to simulate the signals in our SIPROTEC 5 devices. If I would like to simulate, for example, the binary outputs, I can make exactly the same condition, but important. We have here, for security reasons, we have this option. If you would like to really have let's say, the real operation of the binary outputs on the device or not. If I don't have this box checked, I can come here and make the simulation. For example, I would like to trigger the binary output, or to keep on the condition that I would like to keep. For example, I would like to change to energized and keep it in energized condition. I need to select this other option here. But on this case, I can really test anything here. But let's say the binary output will not go to the real condition that I would like to send, for example, the BO1.1. So to really have the real condition on the device, first we need to check this box. So the tool gives the information to us that the device configuration will be changed for test purposes. So I need to agree. So okay. And now I really can check the binary outputs. So now I'm really able to simulate or to generate a manual command to all the binary outputs from my device. For example, I would like to just generate a trigger pulse on the BO1.1. I just need to press, and was done. Or I just would like to change from de-energized to energized. I will make this command on the BO1.2, for example. So I just energized the binary output and was sent again to the normal condition. So it's really simple to make this kind of simulations using the SIPROTEC tools. I will go back to the home page. So checking now the signal test option. So for this option, it's exactly the same concept from the hardware and wiring test. So here in signal test, we just need to click. Again, we'll be able to see on the left side some informations from the device. So again, the device is already on the commissioning mode, the serial number, the product code, the device type. And if I would like to return the device to process mode, we just need to click here. But what we need to simulate the internal signals, the device needs to be on the commission mode and the device is already there. So we just need to select here or to look for what kind of signal that we would like to simulate and ask to simulate the value that we would like to generate or the new condition. So for example, let's select here inside of the device structure, we have this signal here. So goose stop. So now, for example, we have the value off, and I would like to simulate or to change the value to on. So if necessary, you can select here the new value, but in our case, it's off. It's now in off, and we would like to change to on. So we just need to click here, set value, and we can see here that the value was changed from off to on. And if I would like to come back to off, automatically was changed here. So I just need to click here again. And now it's in off again. So it's how to test binary signals. And if we would like to simulate analog signals, it's exactly the same condition. So for example, let's go to the structure related to the measured values. So inside of power system, measuring point current three-phase number 1. And we have here, for example, the CT input number 1. So again, we have some binary signals here. If you would like to test them, it's just change it. You just need to change the simulated value that you would like to have and set the new value. But in our case, I just would like to simulate from 0 amps to, for example, 50 amps. So we just need to type the new value and click on the set value option. So the device now is really, it's the same that the device is really reading 50 amps on the primary side. So all the internal conditions from the device will follow this simulated value. In our case, for example, I make all the tests that I need. I check all these values on the display of the device, the value that was sent via communication protocol. For me, the test was done. So, for example, I'll just return to 0 again. And now, for example, I can just start the simulation of the second input. So it's really easy to simulate this kind of signal. Coming back to the home page, we have the restart option. So here, I'll just click here. It's really easy again. You just need to select the connection type. In our case, we already make the connection previously. So we are connected on the device using the Ethernet connection. So it's green here. So we don't need to click here again. Now we just can select what kind of restart we would like to have. So if we select the restart device option, this means that the device will restart. So it's more or less like you are de-energizing the device and energizing the device again. Or you can select the initial startup. What this means, what is the main difference from the previous option? The initial startup means that, or it's included on this option. The device will restart, but all the logs and the details of the events inside of the device will be empty. So all this kind of information will be deleted from the device. So this means the device will go to the initial startup condition. In our case, I will not make this here because, of course, we need to expend some time waiting, but it's really easy. For example, just restart the device, just click here on the bottom OK, and the restart procedure will be executed by the SIPROTEC tools. Coming back to the home page, we still have some additional 3 options. Now these three options are related to some data that you send to the device or that you will receive from the device. So the first option, upload configuration. What this means? It's really easy. For example, someone sent to you the configuration file from your device. This configuration file was created using DXC5, for example, and your colleague just sent this information via email to you, and you are in front of the device. So, of course, you have internet access. You just need to download the configuration file that you just received via email. You just need to click here on this option, select the file that you would like to send to the device. You need, again, to select how you connect on the device, if it's a USB connection or Ethernet connection, just to follow what we are doing. For example, it will be Ethernet connection. And here, on the bottom, you see the file. So for this situation, you just need to select the file, and if you are looking for the cybersecurity rules, if you have internet password connection or RBAC cybersecurity conditions, you need to put all the information that you need to access the device, and you just need to click on the upload option. So again, it's really simple, and here the main benefit is that you don't need to have the DXC5 installed, you don't need to have any DXC device driver installed, you just need to have the configuration file that was created by you or by another colleague, and you just receive this in some way. It's available in your computer, just send the file to the device. Really easy, without any DXC5 acknowledgement, for example. The next option, downloaded device data. So we need to select this option when we would like to not send something to the device, not send or upload the configuration to the device, but this option is related to download the data from the device to your computer. So in this case, it's really simple. It's exactly like the previous option. So you need to select the connection type, if it will be USB, the front port, or any of the Ethernet connections. So in our case, I will select here Ethernet connection. And of course, you need to select here what will be the IP address of the device. So for example, this IP address. We need to click here to scan devices. So the SIPROTEC tools need to discover the device. It was really fast. Remember, it's an easy and fast tool. So our SIPROTEC tools just discover the device, and now what we need to have, we just need to select the device and click on the button to download. So it's really, really easy. And here it's important, on the previous option, since we are sending something to the device, we are sending a new configuration file to the device. Normally, we need to add at least the connection password. And if you have the RBAC cybersecurity condition, you need to add the username and the password. But in our case, exactly now, since we are just downloading some data from the device to your computer, we don't need to add this kind of cybersecurity informations. And it's possible to see here that we have all the data from the device was downloaded in our computer. And important, it's not only the logs or oscillography records. We have the whole data from the device, the configuration from the device, all the logs, all the oscillography records from the device. So in general, all the data from the device was downloaded to your computer. You just need to click here and you have access to all the data. And the last option, upload firmware. So this is possible to make with SIPROTEC tools too. So it's really easy. So to upload the firmware, again, it's really simple. You just need to select the connection type. So for example, again, Ethernet connection, what is the IP address of the device? On this case, maybe the only different step that we need to check here, what is the location or the folder that you have the device driver that you would like to send to the real device. So you need to click here and select the Dixie device driver from the related protection device. In our case, 7SX800. After this, you just need to follow exactly the same steps. The device will be showed here. Let's just make here the same step. So 72, I will scan. So we have our device here. Now, for example, we just need to show to the SIPROTEC tools what is the location of the device driver of this device. And here, of course, it's important. We need to inform what is the connection password. For example, the standard password that I just add here. And we just need to select the upload option. That in our case is not available because we don't select the device driver to be sent. So if I already select here, the upload option will be available to you. Just click here and just wait. The SIPROTEC tools will start the procedure to change the firmware version from the device to the actual version, to the new version that you would like to have. So really, again, it's a tool really, really simple to be used. So we talked about SIPROTEC tools, and now Johannes will present another available tool, SIPROTEC 5 Web UI.
So let's continue with the SIPROTEC 5 Web User Interface, or short, the Web UI of our SIPROTEC 5 family. All SIPROTEC 5 devices, including the 7SX800, are equipped with a Web User Interface, or short Web UI. It is a built-in server functionality of SIPROTEC 5 devices. Therefore, you only need a standard web browser like Google Chrome, Firefox or Microsoft Edge to access your SIPROTEC 5 device. You can easily use either one of the Ethernet interfaces or, if you like, the front USB interface. It is important to mention the fact that the Web UI access considers all cybersecurity requirements. The connection is done via the encrypted HTTPS protocol. The Ethernet interface access can be limited to read-only so that it's not possible to adapt any settings. And it's for sure possible to define a secure connection password or even a role-based access control. Now, let's have a closer look at the Web UI. Okay, as already mentioned, you can access the Web UI using any web browser like here Google Chrome. So simply enter the IP address of your communication interface here on top, and then you will end up here on this page, and you simply need to log in. And then you see immediately how the Web UI looks like. So you have different tiles with different information. So starting here from device information to engineering, measurements and statistics up to service. And yeah, today I want to just give you some information what you will find under all these tiles and what you can do with the Web UI. So let's start here on the upper left corner with the device information, and the name says it already. So here you get the information regarding your device. So it's a SIPROTEC 5 compact device. You see the MFB, the serial number, also the version of your firmware and your configuration, and you would also be able to see the function points assigned to this device. So this tile is for the general overview. Then moving forward to engineering. Here you have the chance to see the settings of the device. So you can click here on settings, and then you find the settings grouped in exactly the same folders in the same structure that you also know from Dixie 5. So this means also your settings are grouped in so-called function groups. So the protection functions would appear here under function group VI3 phase, and all settings related to the circuit breaker itself would appear here under function group circuit breaker. Just as an example, let's assume we want to change a setting. So it's not only possible to see the settings here, but you can actually also change settings. For instance, if you're testing something and you want to adapt some thresholds, or if during the lifetime of the device your network changes and you would need to adapt maybe a threshold. This is possible here using the web UI, so you don't need any DXI5 for this. You can do this here. And let's assume you want to change the threshold of your directional or recurrent function. So you could either go here to this function group, search for the setting, or what you can also do is you can define for yourself the settings that are most relevant for you as favorites. And then you find all these settings here under favorite settings. And this is what we want to do now. So let's click here on favorite settings. And then I see here settings of the directional or recurrent function, definite time 1 and definite time 2 stage. I could change here now the settings from forward to reverse, or I can change the threshold or the operate delay. What we want to do now is we want to change the threshold from 1.5 to 1.8 amps. So simply add here 1.8, enter the confirmation ID, and then the setting has been changed. So you can do this now for as many settings as you like. And when you're done, then simply click here on this button here, apply changes, and then it's saving the data to the device. Yeah, so it's really convenient. You do not need DXI to do this. You can do this via any web browser. Yeah, so very, very easy. For sure, you can do this also for date and time. So this is also possible. And then coming to the next section, here control. Here in this first tile, you are able to change signal values manually. Yeah, so this is also quite handy when you are really testing the device and you want to test how the device performs if a certain signal is initiated or triggered. For instance, let's assume you have a reverse interlocking scheme and you want to test if everything works fine, if the high-set stage of your overcurrent function is blocked to an external signal. So you can do this, you can test this here in an easy way. So simply go again to your function group VI3 phase that you would find here. Then we want to test how the device behaves if the high-set stage is blocked of the non-directional overcurrent function. So I go here to this function 5051 overcurrent 3 phase. And then I can manually update values. For instance, here the block stage value. Simply click here on manual update and you can turn it on, and then the device is behaving as if this signal would have been triggered externally, either via binary input or via a goose message. Yeah? So it's very, very convenient for you to test it during commissioning or during any other test phases. Here you would also be able to view online signals, so you can see how the status is of signals. And it's possible also to control switches, your circuit breaker, your other switches. By default, this is deactivated due to security reasons. If you want to use it, just enable or activate the allow control operation in DXI, and then you are able to control also the breaker or switches via the web UI from here. Coming to the next section, which is monitoring. Here we find, first of all, the display pages. So here you see then really the display page in the same way as you would see it when you're standing in front of the relay. Yeah, so you see here the feeder, you see also the current and voltage values that the relay is currently measuring. And here you would see then the log files. So if I go here to logs, you find here operational logs. Very important also, you can see a fault log. So if the relay tripped, you can investigate what the reason was. Or for instance, also if you use the device for motor protection applications, you would find here motor starting logs and so on. So all log files that you also could access through Dixie5 can also be found here in the web UI. And regarding monitoring, last but not least, one view that I really like and that I can really recommend to you when you are testing something is the spontaneous indications view. So, because normally the log files show like historical data, yeah. So something has happened and then it's logged in a log file, and then you can see what happened there. But here, these spontaneous indications, they are refreshed automatically. So whenever you're changing something with the relay or the device is behaving in a way, it's automatically updated here in the spontaneous indications list. So therefore, I can really recommend opening this view when you're testing or doing commissioning of the relay. Coming now to the next section, which is measurement and statistics. First of all, measurements. We find the measurements assigned to the different function groups, function group VI 3-phase or function group circuit breaker. And here you can see the measurement values either as normal operational values, as primary values, secondary values, or also percentage values. But for sure, it's also possible to see them as vectors. Yeah, so simply go here to the fundamentals and symmetrical components view, and here you would see them as vectors, and you would also see here the symmetrical components as well. Here under functional values, you would see some specific values related to a specific function, like the angle phi in case of a directional overcurrent function. So this could be found here. And here under statistics, you find statistics to the device itself, to the relay. So here you would find the operating hours. So just click here. You see device operating hours. In our case, has just been started, so it's just 1 hour. But here you would see how long it's running already. And also here for the circuit breaker. So here, if I click here to circuit breaker, I would see here the operating hours of the circuit breaker, the opening hours of the circuit breaker, also how often it has operated, which is quite important, and also the breaking currents of the circuit breaker. Then coming to the terminal assignment. So this is what you find here in this section. Here you find all the information regarding your binary inputs, binary outputs, and also LEDs. So if I go here to binary inputs, this is a really nice view, because first of all, you see here the binary inputs of the relay with each number, and also the terminals. So this really helps you when you need to wire the cables to the relay. So here you directly see to which terminals you need to wire the cables, which is really nice. And you see here also which signals are routed to the binary inputs. Yeah? So for instance, here the position of the circuit breaker and so on. And you see here also the value. And yeah, this view is for sure available here for the binary inputs. But you will find exactly the same view here also for binary outputs and for LEDs. Yeah, so everything is here, and yeah, I think it's a very nice overview. Then I think one part where I think the web UI is fitting really well. It's when your device tripped. Yeah, let's assume you had a fault in your system, your device tripped, and you want to quickly analyze what the problem was, why the relay tripped. And yeah, you don't want to search for your Dixie PC. You just want to quickly understand what the reason was. So in this way, simply use the web UI, connect to the relay, and go here to recording. And then you find here the fault records. Just click on it, and in our case, there's a fault record already available. So I can just open it, select it, and then click here on visualize the selected record. And yeah, then you can see here the fault record. So here it was like a small test. There was a nominal current injected and then suddenly an overcurrent. And this is what you see here as well. And if you want to go closer, you can also zoom in if you like. And then you see, yeah, what the relay actually recorded. You see this for the currents, also for the voltages here. Here for the voltages, and very important, you also see here the binary signals. And here you can see that at this point of time, the relay picked up. And here for phase A, phase B, and phase C. And after 300 milliseconds, so there was the set time delay, the function actually operated. And you see that it was the non-directional overcurrent function that's picked up and tripped. So this is really a nice way to see this without the need of DXY5, without the need of SIGRA. And what's also quite relevant or quite important for you, you do not only want to see the recording, but normally you also want to see the fault log. So where do you find the fault logs? So I already showed this just before. Just go to monitoring logs, go here to fault log, and then you see here exactly the fault log of the relay. So you can really investigate what happened, and you can do this in a very, very short time. Then the next section here is diagnosis and alarms. So here are some alarms like group warnings and so on. So this would be available here. Then we have here function modes, and this is one view that I really like because you can see this more or less only here in this view. Here you see inactive functions. Yeah. So in our case, now there are several inactive functions, but the good thing here is that normally when you configure a device, you define functions that you want to use, and you can turn the mode to off. Yeah. So then they're principally configured, but they're actually not working. They're inactive. And here in this view, you directly see which functions are inactive. And then you can double check, is this correct that these functions are set to inactive, or did I miss them? Then you can just simply activate them. So it's a very nice overview to see if all functions that are relevant for the device or for the application are actually activated. Then we have here the device diagnosis. So here you would find some device diagnosis logs. So in our case, not much content. The startup of the device was successful. So that's what you would like to see here. And last but not least, here we have the communication diagnosis. So this is really, really nice. If you're having challenges when setting up the communication, either for Ethernet or for the serial communication. So just click here and you can check the health. So in our case, everything is okay. You see here the communication protocols. So in our case, we enabled 62050 and also Modbus TCP. And you can check here, for instance, some statistics, if there are any comlink errors and so on. So whenever you have issues with the communication, simply go here to this communication diagnosis view, and then you can see or can get some hints what the reason is that the communication is currently not working. Here are some certificates. And here, last but not least, this is something that I think is really, really helpful. This tile is called support. And this comes handy if you're having any issues, you want to contact our customer support. And then typically, the customer support is always asking you, yeah, could you please provide me all the content from the device, all the log files, so that we can help you? And so this is now very easy to support this to our customer support. Just click here on support. And then it's asking you, do you want to create a device-specific file for support? Then you can click here on yes, and then it will download a log file containing all the relevant data of your device. And then you can simply send this file to our customer support. Yeah, so it's very easy, and by this way you really make sure that customer support can help you immediately because they have already all the content of the device that they need. Okay, that was a quick overview about the web UI, showing you what you can do here. So it's really easy. You do not need any installation. You can connect to the device with any web browser, and you can do this anytime. So I really recommend this tool, especially for testing purposes, but also during operation of the device, especially for a quick understanding via relay trip, for instance, if you have any trips. So we talked about SIPROTEC 5 Web UI, and now Bruno will present another available tool, the SIPROTEC Digital Twin.
So let's talk now about SIPROTEC Digital Twin, our innovative cloud-based tool. With the use of SIPROTEC Digital Twin, you can take a big step forward in how you work with protection devices. With this innovative tool, you can perform several different activities, simulating your real device in the virtual world through the digital twin of your SIPROTEC 5 device. With the digital twin, it is possible to obtain the same performance as the real device, such as smooth goose communication, command evaluation and execution, signal reporting, error-free engineering, proper user logics, corresponding protection settings, fault scenarios detection. You can use SIPROTEC Digital Twin at different times, such as before updating installed devices, before starting commissioning, before building up panels, even before purchasing devices, and for training your personnel. Through user-friendly visualization and intuitive interaction, you can play with the digital twin of your SIPROTEC 5 device as if you are playing with a real device. You can navigate the display, you can check all the different display pages, you can simulate analog and binary signals, test arc flash protection inputs, among other options. Additionally, to facilitate automated testing, it's possible to use the tools Contract Replay and State Sequencer Replay. SIPROTEC Digital Twin thus brings several benefits in its use, such as hardware-free testing, saves time and resources. Different types of tests are possible as user logic tests, communication protocols tests, and replay disturbancy recorders. Integration test with third-party devices through the VPN connection, and integration test with other digital twins through the API connection. It is also important to highlight that SIPROTEC Digital Twin provides all the main necessary applications such as DIGSI5, Web UI, Syscon, and SIPROTEC tools. Last but not least, within SIPROTEC Digital Twin, we have the migration tool. With this very useful tool, following just a few steps, you can automatically generate a new SIPROTEC 5 configuration file from a SIPROTEC 3 or a SIPROTEC 4 device file. After the tool has done most of the conversion work, you just need to open the newly generated file and check the new parameters, validating what is correct and maybe adapting anything that is missing. So to start the use of the SIPROTEC Digital Twin, before I'll show one of the ways to access this tool. So, for example, you can go to our main website when I talk about SIPROTEC 5 devices. That is siprotec5.com. After this, you will go to this web page. So here, if you scroll down, we'll be able here to see, of course, a lot of information regarding SIPROTEC 5 devices. But here, it's what I would like to show to you. So SIPROTEC Digital Twin link. I'll click here. And now we have the main page regarding SIPROTEC Digital Twin. So a lot of information here, a lot of nice videos showing more in depth how to use the tool, what are the functionalities that are available on this tool, what are the main benefits, what are the application areas. So a lot of nice informations. But again, to only have the access to the tool, you just need to click here, so login. And the only condition that you need to look is that you need to have a Siemens ID. If you don't have, you have the option to make the registration. If you have the Siemens ID, you just need to inform your username and your password, basically, and after this, you have access to the Digital Twin tool. So this is the main view from the Digital Twin, our SIPROTEC Digital Twin. So here on the main menu, we have a lot of options. For example, to make the logout of the tool, if you would like to have access to the manuals and VPN data, VPN password, if you would like to use the connection between the virtual world and your PC. So with this you can exchange, for example, data from the simulated devices inside of the Digital Twin with your PC, and your PC can work, for example, more or less like a gateway, exchanging data from real devices to devices inside of the Digital Twin world. API connection. In this case, we need to inform the API password, and this will release the connection with other Digital Twins. To check what is your session ID, you can have the access to some settings of the tool. You can have some general information about your account, the summary of all the release notes from the beginning of this tool, and some legal information. In our case, we don't need to check anything here. I just go here to the first option on the left side, project, and here we have 4 different options. So in the first one, device list, here is the place that you can add all the configuration files from the devices that you would like to simulate here. And important, depending of the version of the license that you are using, you can simulate, for example, one device or more than one at the same time. But to add the files here, you can add normally more devices than your license allows you to run at the same time. So in our case, we already have some device here, but I'll show you how to upload the configuration file from a SIP5 device. So it's really simple. I just need to come here to add a SIM file. You just need to click on the button. We need to show to the Digital Twin where are the files. So I'll click here and show, for example, here's the file that I would like to add, and just select. And after this, we just need to look for 2 options that we have here. What you would like to do now, you would like to replace the existing files, or you just would like to add this new file. So important here, if you select replace, all the files that was already there, they will be removed, and you see the new file. Or you just need to add, to select the option add, and this file will be added to the device list. So in this case, I will just select here replace. So the file will be uploaded. It's really fast. So after you upload the configuration file, the SIM file, you'll be able to see here some basic information about the file. For example, the device name from the configuration file, what is the type of the device, what is the version from the configuration file, in our case 9.90. You can select what will be the firmware version that you would like to run on the device. So in our case, for example, we have the same version from the configuration file, 9.90, or the version 10. We don't have any option to the communication firmware because we don't enable previously any communication protocol to run for this webinar. But if you have any communication protocol that was enabled on the configuration file, we'll have the same idea here. So we'll be able to see what are the different options to run the communication firmware. and we have some additional information here on the right side. But for what we need, at least for this webinar, it's really easy here. At the end, we just need to select what will be the version that we would like to run on the device. But just to have a quickly look on the other options. Routing matrix. So here, if you have more than one device, for example, you can make the connection between the different devices. So voltage, current, or binary signals from one device to another device. For example, from this device, from the source, to this device, the destination. Of course, since we have only one device in our device list, we cannot do anything here because it's only one device, but we have two or more devices. We can connect the different devices between here, from one specific source to a specific destination. Additionally to this, if you upload any test file before, you'll be able to see here, for example, the test file. In this case, it's a control file. And for this case, you can, or you need to make the connection between the data from the control file to the destination device. So again, this is exactly the same idea. You can connect the voltage signals, the current signals, the binary signals. In this case, it's important to make the connection for all the signals that you really need to use. Otherwise, for example, the control file that you run will not be connected with the device that you are simulating. Test files, as we just saw here, we have one test file that was already uploaded to the tool. So again, in our case, it's a control file, but can be a state sequence file. And we can have, or we can add some files to be used on the different apps that I'll show to you later. But go in a simple way. If you would like just to run this device, you just need to come here in Project, Device List, select the option to upload the sim file, make the selection of what will be the file to be uploaded, replace or add, you can decide, and the file will be here. For simple cases, you just need to select the device that you would like to simulate and start the simulation. Simulation is starting. So if we go now to the device option, here we can see the simulation of all the devices that you selected before. So the devices that are under simulation. What is really nice here, because you can really see the device as a real device. It's really nice. Looking for the HDMI, the front of the device, you can navigate on the device, go into the menu, you can change, I don't know, for example, you can change the settings, just making the navigation on the device, just clicking. It's really like a real device. I would like to check the measurements, for example. So navigating up to measurements, I go more in deep, and I can select power system device, voltage, current, three-phase, function group, navigating there, or you just can click with the number that is related to the option, for example, number 4. Now I'll check the operational values, number 1. And in our case, everything is 0 because we are not simulating anything. But if we have some simulation running, we'll be able to see like a real device. So what is really nice. On the binary screen, we can see here the binary status of the device. And in operational log, of course, you can see the information regarding this device, the operational log of this device. So it's really a nice tool, and you have access to almost all the data that you have on the real device. But in our case, of course, we just need to change between the different screens, the different options that you can see here. Just moving back to the HDMI option. So now let's take a look here on the left side. So here we have the basic option to simulate something. So it's like a manual simulation. For all the different analog signals, and for all the binary signals that are going to the device, so the binary inputs, you can just decide here what will be the value for each kind of signal. If you're talking about the analog signals, you can select here, for example, what will be the value for the voltage input 1.1, 1.2. Of course, you can decide the module, you can decide the angle, you can decide the frequency for all these different signals. But what's important here, the name, for example, v1.1, this is coming from the configuration file. So if you define a username for this kind of channels, the username that was defined on the configuration file will be shown here, following the configuration of the device. And the same is valid for the binary inputs. So how to start the simulation here? So before this, important just, you can set the same amplitude for all the voltage signals in this case, for all the current signals in this case. You can set the symmetrical angles for all the voltage or current signals. Just an example here. It's symmetrical, or if you need to put some different value, you can just turn off here and you can change here. For example, to 237, for example. Or I will turn on again the symmetrical angles. And now I just need to change here the first channel. Frequency, on this case, is not selectable individually per channel, but you can select per group of channels. So for example, for this group of voltage inputs, you can select one specific frequency. And for this group of current inputs, you can select, for example, another frequency. But it's really easy to use this option. And what is nice here, you can check what are the values that you select here on the top. To start the simulation, we just need to look for these buttons here, these options. So we have here, for example, to apply the values immediately after you change something. You can reset to the default values. You can stop the simulation, or you can just start to apply again. So in our case, I click here before to apply values immediately after we change something. So now we are applying something. For example, these values here of voltage and current. And what is nice, we can just see here on the HMI of the device, the applied values. So it's like a real device. Or we can say that it's really looks like a simulation that let's say a real simulation that you are doing in a test platform, for example. Just to change something, I'll change here from this value to 50. Oops, to 50 volts. I'll just click in other field or just press enter. So again, it's nice. It's real time. I'll change the current level from 1 to 0.5 just to take a look. From 600 amps was changed now to half of the value, so 300 amps. And here, of course, you can simulate everything. So I'll change here to 2 amps just to have an idea. So change the current level from all the 3 phases from 0.5 to 2 amps. I'll just press enter. Oh, what's nice. I just generate a trip command. So looking for the simulation that Johannes showed to us, using not simulation, but using the SIPROTEC 5 web UI. Remember, he changed the settings, he enabled some functionalities using the web UI, and now we are just simulating using the digital twin. So without any special equipment, we are just simulating the protection functions that are enabled in our device. Or we can test CFC logics, for example. We can test communication protocols. Now, for example, since we have a trip in on, we can check all the internal signals that, for example, our device is sending to the SCADA system or via Goose message to another device. So it's really, really nice. I will stop the simulation here. And now, for example, I can just reset the LED's information, LED reset, and it's done. So again, as a real device. So what is really, really nice. So of course, I just showed you the base conditions to make some simulations, but if you have constraint files or some other types of test files, you can run these files here in an automatic way. So you have not only the manual option to test the device, but you have some kind of test files that will enable you to test the device. For example, run a constraint file from a real disturbance on your grid. On the option test result, we can have access to, it's like a general log for the simulation that was done here. As we showed before, we have different apps that are available here inside of the digital twin. So for example, we have the Dixie 5, we have the system configurator, we have the web UI access, we have the SIPROTEC tools, we have the SIGRO 4, IC browser, constraint viewer. So a lot of apps, or we can say all the apps that you normally need to use with the SIPROTEC 5 devices, they are included on the SIPROTEC digital twin. You just need to click and the app will be opened in a new window of your web browser. And we have here on the bottom, migration tool. So migration tool, as explained before, it's a useful tool that you can use to migrate old configuration files, for example, from SIPROTEC 3 or SIPROTEC 4 devices to a new SIPROTEC 5 device. And it's easy to deal. It's really easy to work with this migration tool that is included here on the SIPROTEC digital twin. And how to work with this? Again, it's really easy. I'll click here on this button. I'll select one configuration file that was previously exported. So for example, we have a configuration file from a 7SX800, our SIPROTEC 4 compact device for overcoming protection. And this file was exported in a XML format. So I just need to select this file and open. The file was uploaded on the tool. Now I have a first recommendation of the product code of the new device. You can check the product code if you need, or if you prefer, you can change something. Just an example, it's not a 1BA, it's a 1BB. Just an example, you can just change here as you want. In our case, I will keep this. So in a real case, what I recommend you, you just need to check the real product code of your device that maybe you already purchased, and just confirm if the new configuration file will be created to the correct product code. You can select the function point number or function point class of the new device. For example, I will keep here as 0. And you can select what will be the formats of the new files. So we have the DEX file. The DEX file can be used to be imported on the Dixie 5 software. The sync file can be used to be uploaded in our SIPROTEC digital twin, and we have the UAT format. Normally, if you're talking about the settings file, we're talking about the DEX file. And I'll keep only this format selected as showed here at the beginning. And we just need to start. So I will select what will be the configuration file and select the option Migrate Selected Protection Configuration into SIPROTEC 5 device. And just click here. Now, what we have here, the tool will make all the work for us. So all the configuration from that is available on the previous protection device, in our case a 7SJ80, will be used as a base to create a new configuration file of a SIPROTEC 5 device as shown here, so for this product code. So after this migration is done with success, you just need to click on this button to make the download of the file to your computer, and it's ready. You can use the file, in our case the DEX file, to import in a Dixie 5 project. You can open this file of this 7SX800 device there, and our recommendation, after you open the file on the Dixie 5, you can, for example, check at least the main settings. Normally, the conversion really works in a nice way, but maybe you have some additional setting or additional functionality that will be there, and you need to make some, or let's say you need to define or put some value that was not on the old protection device. So, but what is nice, the tool normally gives to you the information about what kind of difference you will be able to find between the old configuration file and the new configuration file. If some setting is now missing, if you have new settings, if you face some error during the migration process. So everything that the software, that this tool detect, will be shown to the user. So it's really nice to use this tool. It's a way to be more easy. So on the situations that you need to migrate from an old device to a SIPROTEC 5 device, for sure you can use this migration tool to support you in your work. With this, we end the second session of our webinar on SIPROTEC 7SX800. Along with the first session, where we present the SIPROTEC 7SX800 devices, we hope that the second session has contributed to your knowledge about the tools to be used with the 7SX800 devices.
We would like to thank you for all your questions. As stated in the beginning, all the questions submitted will be answered within a few days by email to all those who attend the webinar. In the upper right corner, you'll find the slides for download. If you are using full screen mode, you may have to press Escape to view the download area. The access to the recording is automatically available to all participants directly after the session with the same link you got for the live webinar. Thank you very much for your participation. It was a pleasure for us to guide you through this session, where we learned about the use of available tools when working with the SIPROTEC 7SX800 devices. We are looking forward to meeting you soon at one of our next webinars. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.